All right, welcome to another episode of Unisharks Podcast. I am today's host, Hammerhead, and with me are my co-hosts, Lemon Shark and Mako Shark. And today we have another guest. We have Leopard Shark. We felt like that name would fit. So, you want to just do a little introduction about yourself? You know, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I am an avid gamer, just like all these three. And I'm currently going to school, and I like working on vehicles and cars and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's got a pretty nice motorcycle back home.
Yep.
I don't know. Actually, we might have to save this conversation after, but Lemon needs a battery replaced in his car.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll save that conversation for later.
I also like to add Leopard Shark is the only married one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Out of us three, so he's our experienced man.
Yeah, he's our first married guest. Or, no, I probably shouldn't reveal anything about Bull Shark. But, so maybe he'll have some more in-tuned insights for us. But, yeah, just to start off for this podcast, the conversation that I wanted to bring up was, I guess, highly controversial. I don't know, depends who you talk to. But more just on our opinions of the consoles versus PC opinion.
Yeah, when you said controversial, I was thinking something a lot worse than that.
No, because there are some people that really do not like consoles. But then, there's only PC. That's all they do. But, for me personally, I have my own opinions on consoles and PCs. I think it's just because I started out, I guess, a lot earlier. I don't know. We didn't have a computer that actually played games back in early 90s.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If anyone wants to start that up, Mako, what do you prefer? Do you prefer PCs or do you prefer consoles?
Honestly, I prefer consoles, but part of that's because I'm used to playing them. Because it's like, we have another roommate who spent $3,000 on a gaming computer, and I think he did admit a lot of it was cosmetic. But all the same, it's just super expensive when I can just buy a console and still play the majority of games. And of course, there's some OPC, you can play the vast majority of games, and you usually don't have to worry too much about how well it'll run if you've put enough money into it. But that's just it. You have to keep putting money into it, So I prefer console just because it's cheaper, simpler, don't have too much to worry about.
Well, on the other hand, I'm more of a PC gamer, but I like consoles too. That was kind of nice having this piece of hardware that's dedicated just to gaming versus the PC. But it's just more convenient for me this stage of life because I'm going to college to study computers, so I naturally have to put money into a good PC or a good laptop anyway. So I just figure it's convenient. Also, I feel like Steam's kind of spoiled me with their sales. Oh my gosh! Yeah. Every time I spend more than the $20 on a game, I feel like I'm being ripped off. But yeah, it's just more convenient for me, and I feel like there's a lot more. It opens up a lot of more options because there's a lot of indie games out there that don't make it to consoles as much, and it's also really fun playing with mods. Although they could be a hassle, especially trying to install them, and sometimes you can end up breaking your computer if you're not careful. But yeah, there's lots of fun with those. But yeah, for me, it's just mainly convenience, and I figured it's kind of nice having a laptop too, just to kind of take wherever I want. I can play. It's kind of I guess the Switch is kind of the same too, though. But yeah, just convenient to play on my laptop, and yeah, I have no problem with consoles though. But yeah, I prefer PC.
Yeah.
It is expensive to keep up though. It's pretty annoying having to, especially if I game on a laptop, so I can't upgrade my graphics card or anything like that. It's I'm kind of stuck with what I got, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
That's what I've heard. Because I think a gaming laptop would be nice having that portability on top of that. But like you said, you just can't really replace a graphics card with a lot of them.
Yeah, graphics cards, they tend to cost as much as consoles.
Yeah.
That CPUs.
So you did make a good point, though, about Steam, because Steam has such a huge library. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Muy bien.
okay games.
Muy bien.
There's not a lot of it. There's a ton of great games, but this is a huge library. There's a lot of not that great of games.
That's
Well,
true.
it's like the
Useless
YouTube of
widely
video
on
games.
Steam games.
Yeah.
Ones that have been in alpha for like 8 years, and the developer forgot he made it in the first place.
Well, yeah, like Steam's kind of like the YouTube of like games though, because like if you're an indie developer and you're trying to put out a game to like we're gonna upload it. You're not gonna make a console version first.
Yeah, I don't know. I might actually ask you, Leopard, this a little bit later. But like with Epic Store, I don't think they let people upload. It's mostly already produced games from
Like
actual
publishers?
companies. Yeah, from publishers, not just made at home type or small team. But we were talking earlier, and Leopard brought up that you said that you have Stadia. Is that similar to Steam, or would it be more of it's for publishers?
Stadia is like it's a streaming service, just like they have a couple out right now. Like Amazon just came out with one. It's called Luna. It's cloud based, so it's like the Xbox xCloud. So you can buy a game and then you can stream it. It works better when you have it like wired, or like you're like really close to your Wi-Fi, like your Wi-Fi router. But it's been really stable. No way. I was able to play it like at 5 p.m. the day before, and I didn't have to wait for any downloads or anything.
Since it's a stream,
Yeah.
so it's kind of at the moment, not you have to wait, because I know like we've been sometimes downloading stuff. It's like, okay, let's get this download started because it's 30 gigs, and then we'll go do something else and then come back
7 hours later.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of going back. So I'm more of a console. We started with NES at home. We still have them. They run.
See, I started with a Sega Genesis, and ours still runs after 20 years.
Yeah.
30 years now.
They're like Toyotas of video game consoles.
Yeah, for real.
As Bullshark would say, the Japanese know what they're doing. But so like I've always had the mentality of consoles were made for gaming, and now it's been in the past. I guess you could say decade now that it's been shifting over to more of streaming, or you can just other apps on there as well, other than just games.
Yeah.
Because for example, Xbox 360s, you might have used it for movies, but I didn't meet that many people using it for other apps, other than just the games.
Yeah, and then the Xbox One, they touted it as sort of an all-in-one entertainment center. Like you could route your TV cable through it.
Yeah.
All this stuff. It was meant to be
flopped.
the one.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though. It did flop. It was really funny because there's a lot of good memes about it. About they're calling it the cooler because all they talked about was just watching football through it. I think someone did a count. It was just tens. I don't know how many dozens of times that they kept saying football. You can watch football on it. It's okay, we get it.
Right.
What about the games? That's what we're going to get it for.
Yeah, it was a good idea, at least. I'm
Yeah.
glad they went for it to at least try it.
Yeah, it's used now. I know a lot of people that use it for streaming.
Yeah, like our roommate.
Yeah, and we use it now for Disney Plus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we don't have to connect our computers all the time. But I do want a gaming PC, just a really nice put in money PC.
Yeah.
You have to update it in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The consoles are you have to get a new console generation every once in a while, but they usually last longer than PC generations.
Yeah.
That's true.
Definitely save a lot of money just buying a console.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess now that we've talked about it some more, I guess I can admit that PC overall is better, but it still just comes down to the fact that it's really expensive, and like you
Depends
guys
on your
said, they don't last as long. Sorry, what?
Depends on your economic situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Leopard?
I think I'm more of a console guy, even though I have a PC.
Nice one too.
It's mid tier.
Mid tier.
So like the new games, the brand new. So my system's a year and a half old. So all the newer games like Cyberpunk or Red Dead, like those require like graphics cards like the 270 Ti and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a console guy all the way because I have like all my games. So when I got to Xbox One back in 2017, like I bought a bunch of games, like all my paychecks.
Oh yeah.
Not all my paychecks. My parents were like, "You need to save that money," but like I'd split it a little bit. So like I have like over like 100 or so games on my Xbox, like digitally. And I only bought maybe like 4 or 5 like disc copies, like over the course of the past couple of years, and I sold all that already. But I'd say consoles because I already have a lot invested into it, and I only play like PC games for like exclusives, like
Like the indie games.
yeah, like one of my favorite games is called BeamNG Drive. So it's like a car simulation game where you can like customize engines, and you can like crash into a railing, and your side of your car will be a bit dented. And
So it's pretty realistic then.
you can put like a giant Hemi engine in a small car. It's super fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun, actually. I probably wouldn't play it, but I'd like to watch everything that happens to it.
It's so much fun.
Oh, and with computers, can you still hook up like peripherals, like the steering wheels and the
Yeah.
joysticks?
You can hook up Xbox controllers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can do a lot of stuff with PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can connect the Joy-Cons from Switch to PC.
Can you really?
Yeah. It has a Bluetooth system, but it's
A different one?
they changed it up, so it's not easy.
Yeah.
But everyone finds a way.
And I guess with PC you can get emulators because I remember Leopard was playing Wind Waker on his laptop a few years ago. I was like blown away. So, and actually there was some funny stuff in the news with Xbox because I guess the new console somehow is set up so you can run emulators on it. So people have been playing like Metroid Prime and all these God of War, all these old PlayStation and Nintendo games on it.
Yeah, no, they I think PlayStation caught on that really fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's a shame.
please don't. You know?
Yeah. I will give consoles one thing. Like, I do enjoy playing with the controllers a lot more. Like, when I play on the PC, I usually play with the controller. But depending on the game, though, of course. Like, strategy games, I feel like are better with the keyboard and whatnot. But most of the time, I do like the controller more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone says that it's more accurate to play with the mouse, and it is true.
Yeah, like I remember when Overwatch first came out, people were like, so can we do like controllers? Can we do crossplay? And they were like, no, because it's just not fair if someone's using a mouse and keyboard against someone with a controller. That's actually what they said.
Yeah, like there's this one game I brought it up before, Warframe. It's on every console and it's on PC, and people really want crossplay because it's basically the same game, and it could work a lot more because it's not really a competitive. There is a competitive section, but usually everyone just does co-op, which is the main point, and so in a sense that could work fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just wondering, because I haven't really looked into it, but Cyberpunk, it's a new thing, came out
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
a few
you-
days ago.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Just kidding.
Till you
Well,
have, like,
strap
50
down, my
hours in it.
friend.
Okay. Came out 2 days ago, right? Or just yesterday?
On the 10th.
Yeah.
So 3 days ago, I'd say. Yeah, 3 days ago.
Sometime this week.
Time's been flying for us. And it reached over 1 million people its first day.
On Steam.
Yeah.
Like
Steam.
over 1 million people. I remember it was really funny. I was looking at the Steam and I was looking at the countdown, and like once it hit 0, like, oh, let's go boys, and then like the Steam like store crashed, turned black like dang. But yeah, that was fun. It was definitely a lot of hype leading up to it.
Yeah, and I guess like something that we'll probably talk about a little more in a second is that with all the reports coming in, Cyberpunk definitely runs best on PC. So those people are just happy with what they're getting. All the console people are kind of screwed. But then the reverse happened a few years ago with Arkham Knight,
Oh,
which
yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Hammer and I were talking about.
Yeah, it's It was really buggy on PC.
Yeah, like even the honest trailer says this game is the reason people would buy a console.
Yeah. But now it's kind of flipped.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I think you mentioned it before, but I can't remember. Maybe you can answer this as well, Leopard. It's only single player, correct?
Yes, at the moment.
Yeah.
They're planning on adding a multiplayer, but that's later down the road.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And it's supposed to be like Red Dead Online, right? Like just a big open world multiplayer thing.
It's
That's
not
what
like
they say.
Grand Theft Auto where you
I think it'd be cool if it was just like a co-op thing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like I always wished that Skyrim would have like a. I'm not talking about like Elder Scrolls Online. That's a whole different thing. But like, Skyrim just like as a co-op, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think there was mods for that.
Yeah, mods.
Yeah, but they didn't really work very well because they were like, you'd look over and your friend would be just like this standing, like a standing stick, and it would just keep standing.
Always just T-posing to establish dominance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think someone went into third person when you're supposed to be in first person in one of those games, and it's just the hands. It was Morrowind, I believe.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, because in Skyrim you can go third person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's not the greatest.
Yeah, unless you're doing melee, it's okay.
Yeah, I switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow, near impossible.
I know, right?
Crossbow, though.
I haven't tried
Still
that.
better in first person, but it's doable.
But I don't know. What's your guys' first opinions? Me and Mako, we can't afford it, so we don't have to play it. But you two have played it a bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, about 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah. What's just your general first opinions on it? Worth the money? Would you rate?
I'd say it's very good, but it's not the second coming that people are. The second coming of Jesus that was hyped up to be.
Nice.
Like, and I'm kind of like disappointed a little bit. It's like I really like the game. The base game's really good, but the kind of like the bugginess. Like I know I mentioned it earlier, like a couple weeks ago when they delayed it. It's like sometimes you have to go with it, but like holy crap, 8 years on this. Like, yeah, so much more polish could have a lot more time could have been well spent. I feel like with the company. Like I was talking with Mako the other day, and I just barely learned this. The team that developed Fallout New Vegas, they made that game in 18 months, and that's like one of the bigger. That was like one of the bigger like Fallout games, and it was like one of the most like loved Fallout games. And I was it boggled in mind that they spent like almost a year and a half just making that game. Of course, it was buggy and whatnot, but I'm like, CD Projekt Red could probably use a little bit more time management with their management. Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about how they weren't building the whole thing from scratch. They were basing it off.
The tabletop RPG.
Yeah. So did you know that, Leopard?
Wait, we were talking about Cyberpunk or
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. I was based off a tabletop game.
Yeah, it's like D&D, but Cyberpunk.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like they did put a lot of detail. Like I really appreciate. Like I'm very like a story oriented game. Well, not story oriented. Like that's whole other topic. But like I do like having gameplay and story. But I do appreciate a lot of details. And they did put a lot of details into the story and the world. Like Night City is really detailed, and it definitely feels like a California city on the east or west coast in the future.
California on the East Coast.
On the west coast.
Times have changed.
But yeah,
West Coast is New York now.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can talk a lot about this. But yeah, my general impressions is very good. But I probably, if you're not too excited for the game, I'd probably wait like maybe 6 months for them to hash it out, because then you'll probably have a better experience. But that's just me.
Yeah, there was actually a critic from IGN that said the same thing. He's like, I feel jealous of the people playing this 6 months from now when they fixed all these bugs. And Hammer, you had a really funny bug yesterday with your character.
Which one? I have several bugs so far.
There have been so many. He showed me one where he was supposed to get out of his car, and instead of going to first person, it stayed in third person, but the camera wasn't following anything.
Oh yeah, like the head was missing too.
Yeah, his head was missing.
So my character's just like walking around without a head, and like the perspective was like third person from the vehicle, so like I was like watching down on my character, just like walking around blindly.
Yeah, that's right. Like, so this is like second person perspective.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues like that.
It could also be my laptop. My laptop's getting pretty old too, so.
That's true. And I guess that proves that Stadia is probably the most solid thing to play it off of, which we've also heard.
Yeah, there's still bugs, but like the major bugs that people have been talking about about online, it's not really that bad. Like, there has been once where it's like, you encountered a glitch, please restart the game.
Oh.
That's happened once.
That sucks still, especially depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and IGN came out with a video earlier that's like a list of all these bugs they encountered, and it was stuff like they killed an enemy and his legs sunk into the concrete and then sprouted back up like 2 feet away.
That sounds like a Borderlands thing that would happen.
Oh, man.
The leg mines or something.
Yeah, the leg mines.
But there was one I was just watching Lemon play earlier. Finally met Keanu Reeves. And he's still such a handsome man. But like his cigarette was just floating.
Yeah, he moved his hand, but the cigarette stayed in the spot.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I have countered a glitch like that in Red Dead. So like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
so in Red Dead, to get your slow-mo powers to your Deadeye.
Oh,
Dead,
yeah.
Your
Yeah,
Deadeye,
yeah,
your
yeah.
Deadeye powers. You can either drink alcohol or like smoke cigarettes.
I too
And
can
I
focus
was
after
in a-
drinking alcohol.
I was in a fight and I had no like alcohol or anything to fill my thing, and there was like 4 or 5 guys in front of me. So I smoked like 4 or 5 packs of cigarettes on the thing, and after that, my cigarette stayed on my person.
Oh, wow, through all the cutscenes.
Like even after like I saved the game and came back later, it was still there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine that? Like, you just stop in the middle of a fight and say, hold on, I need to chain smoke so I can focus. I need to get drunk real quick.
That's pretty funny. So, bringing that up then, what have been some like fun or funny glitches that have happened in some of your games? Just not like right now, but like it could be any game that you've played.
Oh,
It's kind of hard just off the top of your head, but
there was one, I don't remember if it was in Halo or, no, it was in some other game, but sometimes I'd kill this enemy and it'd be a big guy and he would just suddenly like shoot up into the sky like a rocket.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
I don't remember.
It wasn't Borderlands, it wasn't Halo, it wasn't Doom. I've played a lot of first-person shooters, if you guys can guess.
Yeah, like Mario and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course there's some funny ones with. There's been some funny ones with Battlefield 1 where like you hop on a horse and suddenly you ride off and the horse is still back there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was actually a time I saw one of my teammates like ride up onto a bridge and he's just like straddling the air, floating, it's just like charging forward, and then his horse finally appeared underneath him.
So I actually had one in Halo. It was a hunter. Like I just killed it, and I must have used like a rocket or something. But part of it went inside a wall, and that part stayed, but the body moved, and so like his neck went like 6 feet. It's just a little fun stuff like that. That's pretty fun. I actually, sorry I keep bringing up Warframe, but I had one. You have a follower in there. It's a pet animal. And this one was like an infested dog cat thing. But for some reason, I went through some door or something and it bugged out. And it stood on 2 legs. And then like one of his arms was going through his body, like behind it.
Oh, that sounds horrifying.
And his head is just like moving around. I'm like, what is wrong with this thing? It was so funny. But it's just following and it like shoots out spikes, but it doesn't move. And it's just like deformed. It was the weirdest thing, but it was really funny. Yeah.
Oh, it actually reminds me, I watched one of my first roommates play through Fallout 3, and I guess one of the followers you can get is a super mutant who can talk. So, and I just remember he lost him somehow. And he told me like, oh, don't worry, he'll be back. So like 20 minutes later, he gets a little notification. He died. He was like screaming, are you kidding me? I have to go back 20 minutes.
Oh,
He was like freaking out.
Oh, that would suck.
oh, too bad. That's the most recent bug. It's Cyberpunk, of course, but it's really funny. There's this one NPC was like talking, then all of a sudden he's like walking towards a table to sit down, but then like 10 feet before he got to the table, like he squatted down and just like levitated towards the table. He's like still talking. He's like, oh my god. It's like, dude, this guy's got some. It's like one with nature or something. I don't know. He's reaching line and he can just like levitate.
He reached his chakra purification, whatever.
Yeah.
We have a really funny quote. So we have like a quote wall back home. And we have one. It's like I did something and I reached enlightenment.
It was
Oh,
bullshit.
yeah.
I remember what it is. He's like, I reached alignment. I no longer have to poop.
Yeah, I've opened my 8 gates of chakra or whatever.
Oh.
Something to that effect.
Yeah. I've reached the avatar state.
That's what it was, I think. I was
Yeah.
trying to say it.
It no longer have to poop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another point. But sorry, I won't go on that tangent just yet. But have you had? Can you think
That
of any?
cigarette one was my funniest one. I've really encountered well, if we're speaking about like most recent ones, I was playing the new Avengers game. It's not really new, but I was playing one of like the beginning levels where you play as all the characters at first, and I play as Hulk, and you're jumping from bus to bus on this bridge that's collapsing,
Yeah.
and the Hulk jumped over to the spot. I landed, and then it sucked right down, and he was falling,
Oh.
Oh,
like through the map.
those are so frustrating.
Oh, remember Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah, we've talked about it before actually on the podcast. Have you played Fallen Order, Leopard?
Yeah, I beat the game.
Oh, good.
Okay, so I encountered a bug or a glitch, I don't know. But I was going off like a slide part and I was trying to land. I just fell through. And I fell at least 10 times through the map before I was able to be like solid on ground and finally kill the stupid stormtroopers. Oh gosh dang it.
Yeah,
That was so frustrating.
Yeah, mine were never game breaking with that game. It was just like cosmetic. Like I'd show up and one of the characters had a clone of himself that was sitting like 3 feet in the air and to the right of him.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I remember that.
I never had any problems with that game.
Oh,
And
you're
then-
just lucky.
Yeah, for real. So you got the Avengers game?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
what did you think?
It's my PC doesn't really handle it that well. So like,
Yeah.
so I'm not playing it. I'm playing it on my TV. My wife kind of stole our monitor in the office. She kicked me out of the office with my computer. So instead of getting 60 frames per second, I'm getting 30.
Oh,
So it's a fun game. It's not. I wish it was more like open worldish. It's more guided, like how Marvel Alliance was, but worse.
yeah, because Marvel Alliance was at least fun to play, especially with a
At
friend.
least fun to play.
Yeah.
And then they're throwing a bunch of like RPG elements into it. Like you have to upgrade your gear every mission.
No, that's kind of annoying.
Like you have like level. So for Hulk, for example, you have like 4 different sets. So like one for like his hands, his chest, and then like his head or something. But they're not like cosmetically. They're just like you upgrade this and you'll get a 10% more chance of getting a critical hit, stuff like that. Like, and then it was like so you start out with like level 3, and then you find loot chests around the map, and you can upgrade it to up to a certain point. But they kind of failed in the RPG point. I think they should have just kept it. I don't know. It's a good game. I'd probably rate it like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay. It's like play it once, probably won't play it again.
Yeah, get it on sale. Heavy sale.
Heavy sale.
What were you going to say, Lemon?
what was I going to say?
Anyways,
What
so,
kind of sin?
so we're talking about Avatar, and we've had this conversation, I believe, when we were just walking around Lemon. But I was bringing up the point of water bending, and how waterbenders, they can freeze and they can steam water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how? That deals with heat. So I want to hear you guys' opinions about this. Can waterbenders, are they tied to
No.
firebending?
No.
No.
Because if they can... So let's talk for a second about this science, about the nitty-gritty of bending. Like, they're probably controlling the molecules in the water, which means they can probably
Vibrate them?
vibrate it enough that it would,
Or hold them still.
yeah, turn it into ice or turn it into steam.
Here's a question: can other benders learn even if you're not the avatar, can you learn another element?
I don't think
Depends what the writers want
controlling.
to do.
Yeah, I don't think like controlling the actual element, but maybe.
Amplify it, kind of like how Toph learned how to do metal bending.
Yeah,
bending.
I don't know. Maybe like implement something. For example, a waterbender again, taking something from firebending, but not actually firebending, just improving on their bending skills.
Yeah, or how Iroh learned to redirect lightning from studying water bending.
Yeah.
So I think you can. I don't know a lot about like Bender lore or like, you know how there's like this Star Wars lore. Like I have a coworker that he like knows so much about Star Wars, and you can just talk about it for hours just because he knows like every Mandalorian episode. Be like, oh, this was in the past in Rebels, and
That's pretty much me every episode with these guys because they haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars. But go ahead.
but I just lost my train of thought. But yeah,
Of them being able to bend a different element.
yeah.
Would you say it's more having to do with understanding? I know it sounds weird, but like understanding their chakras, kind of like because Aang met that one guru dude,
Yeah.
to help control his avatar state better. Do you think a normal bender could possibly go through a similar type training to understand different bending, and I guess in a sense unlock that?
I think so.
If the writers say so, yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, I'm wondering if they can learn different elements, but they can only use like one at a time, you know?
Yeah, unlike the avatar.
Yeah.
like how I just lost my train of thought again. But like, would it be like against their like I'm not like religion, but like their tribe if they went like waterbender, like oh I want to be a firebender now. Like I know in Legend of Korra, there are like in the main city, like firebenders, waterbenders, and also they all live in one like under one roof, like in one big city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Probably in that situation, it probably wouldn't be that bad. But in Aang's series, I guess this is the original one.
The best one.
Yeah. It would probably be more against their like ideology.
But bending is kind of more inherited at that point. So what if like
Yes, genetic.
yeah, like what if like a waterbender and a firebender decided to like get together and they had a child? Could their child do both? I also had a thought too, like when you mentioned like how because you always see the waterbenders freezing water and unfreezing it, but you never see the waterbenders like boiling it. Like imagine how intense that'd be. Like they put someone in a water bottle or a ball of water and they just like boil them alive.
Oh yeah, no.
Just spray boiling water over everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why don't they do that?
They'd
If
be
they
like
can turn
so
it to
OP.
steam, why not?
They could be so OP, like the waterbenders, if they can do that.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it. Like, that show could be super, super dark. Just an airbender. What is he going to do? Just crush your lungs. Okay, cool. Expand them. Whoop.
Make a vacuum around you so you just suffocate.
Yeah.
Well, that happens in Legend of Korra once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But, then also blood bending. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting.
So I found something online.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You did
we
actual
don't-
research.
It poses a question. It said, would it be possible to bend two elements? And it says many benders do learn to bend beyond their elements, such as Toph becoming bender, which you guys mentioned, and then Katara bending blood.
Yeah.
And then there's also another one. It says Ira, I don't know who that is, was able to adapt water bender technique to fire bending, which means it's possible to learn and use different bending styles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Iroh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zuko's uncle.
So I guess you can.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
You can amplify your ability, I guess.
Yeah. You use what you have to do something else with it.
Yeah.
But
It's very interesting. Never really like went out that far towards thinking about like bending to that extent.
Yeah.
so if you guys were able to choose a style though, what bending style would you?
Blood.
So you'd be a waterbender. So just the base ones: water, fire, earth, or air. But if you're trained well enough, you can potentially use the other things like a firebending. You can use lighting, water bending. You can freeze or potentially blood bend, earth bend, metal bend.
I go with water. I also like the water fluid or the fluidity of water. Just seems really cool. Like how they're able to like do all that stuff with the water and whatnot.
Okay.
And plus, I think it'd be kind of cool to implement like some like kind of we were talking about earlier, like make the water heat up. So like kind of implement it that way.
So you mess around with your roommates like cooking. It's like, oh, making ramen, freeze. Yeah. I know.
For me, I've always liked earthbending the best, but there have been people that said I'd probably more of a firebender, and I'd probably have to agree with that. Especially because I actually have done some martial arts in the past when I wasn't as busy. So, and the stuff I learned was more similar to firebending, other than Tai Chi, because that's actually more like waterbending. But yeah, like, I'd probably pick earthbending, but firebending might suit me better.
Can I say I want to be the Avatar?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That would be a huge weight on that person's shoulders.
Worth
They'd
it.
probably have you go to like, I don't know, probably be with political leaders too. I mean, you would be one in a sense.
Political crap.
It'd probably be stressful trying to learn all four of them rather than trying to just learn one. It's kind of trying to be a master at 4 instruments rather than just picking one and being good at that one.
Yeah, like if you're going martial arts style, you have to be a master at 4 different martial arts.
Yeah.
In a sense, to be a really true avatar. But no, I would be earthbending. I've always liked their style. I think metal bending is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it seems so useful too.
I know.
You know?
You can be your own fabricator.
Yeah, I would definitely pick earthbending.
Be Magneto.
Or just like pull down someone's wall. I don't know.
You can be, if you're a waterbender, you can be Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Yeah, I don't like deep water though. But, you know, it's like, imagine, you know, someone's just bugging you. Okay, just take out the base of the building, you know.
Just drop a building on it.
Just take out okay.
If you're a bloodbender, you can like boil their blood.
I know, right? Oh, that'd be so tense.
And I guess looking at it, the only reason the firebenders really get anywhere is because they have like inventors that make tanks and airships for them. Just advanced technology.
Yeah.
More aggressive.
They're definitely more aggressive type tribe. But in Avatar, you can also like bend snow, which I think would be kind of cool too. You know, just like bending rain over you when it's falling too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That makes snow shoveling so much easier.
I know, right?
Just melt all the snow.
But so another topic that I want to bring up is just snow. We've been getting a lot of snow here now. It's just that time of year. It's Christmas. Yay. Just what's your honest opinion about snow?
I don't mind it as long as it doesn't affect the driving too bad.
Yeah.
Like if I had a good car with good snow, those things.
Like traction?
Yeah,
Snowshoes?
tires. Snow tires.
Snow
Yeah.
skis.
Where does that ski go?
Those things that cars have wheels, I guess. Yeah, I've had good wheels and whatnot, and the roads are clear. Like I don't mind snow, but that's the only time I ever I really hate snows when I'm driving in it.
For me, I like snow, but it's like a professional relationship. It's
Professional.
Snow
Yeah.
and a professional relationship.
It's like I respect it, but I don't love it. But I mean, at the same time, there are times where I really like it, especially because my dog loves playing in the snow. So whenever there's snow and I take her out there, she just has a ball, you know. She just loves it.
She makes a ball.
Yeah, she does that too. I like videos of her just freaking out. We actually have her first snow. It started snowing on, and she was like snapping at the air, freaking out. And then she realized it wasn't going to hurt her, so then she loved it. She was skimming on the snow, sliding across it on purpose on our deck, and then she fell off. And she ran back up and did it again. It's so much fun.
So it's mostly watching others people enjoyment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and like it is fun. It can be really refreshing to step out into the cold air, as long as it's not for too long.
Yeah.
So, and of course, yeah, if it doesn't clog up the roads like a schmuck.
Schmuck. Oh, you schmuck of a snow.
No, there was actually a time my sister and I were driving home, and I have a 1990 Mustang, so I have to be careful driving it. That night I wasn't careful enough. So in the middle of this 2-lane, road, this major road, I start to slide and I do a 180 in the middle of it. And I slam into the side of the road, and I'm like, yelling, "Dang it!" like all this stuff. Because I'm worried I'm going to hit somebody or damage the car. So we stopped, and I look around. I'm like, okay, we didn't hit anybody. I look out, like, the window. Okay, there's, like, a scratch on the tire, whatever. So I'm like, that was cool. That was fun. And then my sister was like, that was scary. And she was so upset.
Oh,
Yeah.
it could be scary. What?
Mine's a love-hate relationship because I have like motor toys. So I have a Camaro, and then I have a motorcycle, and the car is rear-wheel drive, and the motorcycle is rear-wheel drive. But you don't typically ride motorcycles in the snow unless you're like really stupid, and that's your only form of transportation. Anyway, I like skiing on it. I like skiing on it and playing on it, like doing sledding and stuff. But besides that, just like Lemon, I don't like driving in it.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Last night, me and Lemon actually saw this one guy grab like a bike,
Oh yeah.
and he was trying to go biking, and he made like 20 feet. he didn't fall.
Godspeed.
Of course.
He stopped.
Yeah, I wanted him to fall a little bit. I was a little sad about that. But he got onto the road, and then he's like trying to pedal, and he just stops, and he just walks with the bike.
On a Saturday.
I was like, I hope you're okay. But
It's like at 1 a.m. too.
yeah,
It's like, was he doing a drug run or something?
Drug run.
I don't know,
That's what the bike was for. He wanted to get there faster.
he's probably just hungry. I don't know. He probably had early morning work too.
Yeah.
That's an option too.
But that's an option. One of my favorite things with snow is when you're just out late at night and it's just silent.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it actually is pretty cold, but
Cool
It's
code.
not cool. It's cold.
Yeah, snow is nice when it's outside and you're inside.
Yeah.
yeah, like it makes inside a lot nicer
Yeah.
as well.
Cozier.
Uh-huh.
Just that contrast.
Yeah, hot chocolate. Having hot chocolate during summer. Okay, sure, whatever.
You do
You
you.
weirdo.
But-
No, I'm just kidding. I
but-
do too.
But like at winter when it's snowing out, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for cuddling too.
Yeah,
Or
don't
like-
touch me.
Get out. Now, have you ever sat in a hot spring during a snowstorm? Because that's something else. Oh,
for
man.
not being a snowstorm, but I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Like a hot tub.
Yeah, hot tub, hot spring, whatever.
Yeah.
Did that once. That was an amazing experience. So, and actually, Leopard, you brought up snow sports. I forgot about those.
Don't
Like,
do them.
Sledding. Yes, do them.
I
Go
like
out and do them. So yeah, sledding and skiing is really fun. Snowboarding, I tried it and I kept falling over, so I was like, screw it.
Do you ski?
Oh yeah, I love skiing.
I've
Just,
never skied or
You're
snowboarded.
from the same place I am, so
Yeah, we're both from
You should.
Colorado. So
Yeah, no, there's a lot of ski slopes in this part of the States, but I just
they're
never done
sucky
them.
ones. But well,
Yeah.
there's one good one I can think of, but there's one that's really close. That's like a student one. It's really cheap.
So they teach a lot there, or it's just like student as you mean in
It's like
Cheaper side.
like cheaper side. So it's like you can get a really good deal. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
they have student days, and it's only like one big hill. There's one big main hill, and then there's another one on the side. So it's technically two. Like
okay.
like other ones, there's like many different directions, but this one's just like one with a couple 2 or 3 directions on top.
yeah, like, and the school actually used to organize ski trips up there.
Yeah, can't do that now, but
Yeah,
COVID.
I remember we didn't really go anyways because it was
No.
like, why go up there and pay $40 for like 2 hours and get like breadsticks and bargain chili?
Socialize with
$40.
people.
Yeah, socialize with people we don't even know.
I know, right? Or we could stay home, play some games,
Yeah.
watch anime.
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, I remember like the first time we skipped it, we just watched Guardians of the Galaxy and had such a great time with
That was
that.
great.
That was fun.
And that was when the surround sound was still working before people decided to not read the rules and broke it.
Yeah.
You know, guys.
Oh, back in the old place.
Our old apartment.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember there was one time those guys actually, I don't know how it happened, but none of the power in the lounge would work. So for 3 days we were like, what is going on? So finally, at one point we had to look at the fuse box because our power wasn't working. And it turned out they had switched the fuses off. I was like, I don't know if you did this on accident, but I don't see how you could have, you know?
They were kind of dumb. They were kind of dumb. But, yeah. Anything else?
I do kind of something that's been on my mind a bit. It's kind of a dark twist, but dark turn of conversation. But I was looking through the Steam comment or reviews for Cyberpunk, and this one kid, I'm not sure if it was real or not, but the person said that like they just got diagnosed with like terminal cancer, and they said thank you for the developers for releasing the game because he wanted to play it before he died. And like I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and it's like, dang.
They said it's more wholesome than dark.
Well,
It's about people dying.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They
Yeah, I
can't
get what you mean.
do anything about it.
But yeah, just maybe it made me think, is like, dang, what would I do differently if I had 8 months left to live? And this is kind of something I've been thinking a lot about, and I was wondering what you guys thought about that. Like, what would you do differently if you were 8 months left?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Well, we'd finish the Master Chief Collection, that's for sure.
Yeah, make sure we get every achievement.
Yeah.
I'd probably stay up a lot. I probably would not live a healthy life.
Oh, yeah, because screw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I'm going to die. Let's die right now. No.
What's it going to do? Kill you?
I know.
Right.
Eat that chocolate cheesecake.
Yeah, I'd probably call out people a lot more.
Yeah.
It's like, I got nothing to lose. I'd probably ask someone to marry me.
Just to see.
I don't want to die alone.
Just some random.
Just pull
Tinder date.
what was it?
Uh,
Theory of Everything. And she's like, after he gets diagnosed with his whatever spinal neurological disease, she's like, they just get married almost immediately afterward.
yeah.
Sorry, have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like what?
That explains a lot. Sorry.
I'd probably binge the rest of Naruto
Yeah, because you're in the middle of that, huh?
and One Piece. Because why not? I still have 8 months. I can watch a lot of anime at that time.
I'd probably watch every Star Wars thing ever made. Like even the old Ewok cartoons.
I'd probably gamble a lot too.
Yeah, I would too.
This is totally unhealthy. I spend time with my family. I'd hike all the mountains in the world.
I'd go running on the beach.
I meet all the Avengers. Why not? I'd go bowling with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, that would be chill.
That would be okay. If you had to do a date with one of the Avengers, it could be anyone, just for fun, not romantic. Who would it be? I would bowl with Robert Downey Jr. I think it'd be super fun.
Wait, you're talking about the actors or the characters?
The actors that play the characters.
Okay. I'd probably just go hang out in the outback with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he seems like a fun guy. I think like no matter where you are, you'd be having a great time.
Yeah, I pick him too. He's like a chill dude.
Yeah. Chris Evans is really fun too, though, and he loves Disney. So probably just...
Speaking of Chris Evans, he's voicing the new origin story for Buzz Lightyear.
I know, I don't understand that.
So I read up on it. It's supposed to be the original Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
So Buzz Lightyear that's in the Toy Story movies, he was just one of the guys on the shelf. He wasn't the original toy that was made for Buzz Lightyear.
He was made from the original.
So it's not our Buzz, it's a different
Buzz.
Okay.
The Buzz.
Okay, I can roll with
Buzz.
that then.
Yeah.
The Buzz.
Just like how they had an animated series.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would your date be, Leopard?
I think I'd go Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
We won't say anything to your wife, don't worry. But yeah, going back to Lemon's topic, Yeah, no, I'd probably like to meet some people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
How about you, Leopard?
Yeah. What would you do if you had terminal cancer last 8 months?
Just watch Netflix all day. No, I'm just kidding.
Just Netflix and
probably
chill
do all
all
the
day.
things that I am too scared to do, like skydiving, roller coasters, stuff like that.
I can't do roller coasters now.
I've only been on 2 my entire life.
Gosh, I remember first roller coaster I actually went on. I was like 9, so I was like sobbing and crying.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was one of those boomerang coasters. So by the time we got to the end, I was like, "This is really fun." And then we went back.
Oh no.
Ever since then, I've loved roller coasters.
I've never been on one. I'm not good with heights.
You should do.
Neither am I.
If you ever do one, do wooden ones. Those are never like, because they're kind of rickety. I'm not saying like you're gonna fall off. They're not like as extreme because just because of
The way that they're made.
the stress of the materials that they're using.
Okay.
So they want to be, so it's relatively safe.
So it's more of the
Somewhat
up and
dips.
down than the circle.
Yeah, up and down, like
Curving.
like what's that Disney ride? It's the Thunder Mountain.
Oh yeah,
Thunder Mountain.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so
It's like that.
Yeah, because they don't
That's my
have.
favorite ride, by the way.
So
Oh,
I haven't
good ride.
been to any of the Disneylands or Disney World. Do they have really intense rides, or are they more calm because a lot of kids go?
They have 1 or 2.
Yeah, they're mostly calm.
Incredicoaster is that major roller coaster.
Incredicoaster.
Incredicoaster and the Tower
Oh.
of Terror.
Yeah, I haven't been on Incredicoaster. Tower of Terror is fun. I've so met
Tower of Terror is now the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Yeah, I mean it's still fun to ride, so whatever.
Yeah.
So if you really want more intense rides, though, you have to walk over to Universal because that
Disney doesn't have a lot.
that Incredible Hulk roller coaster. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was something else.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, they're not. We don't really have that great of insights. I'm sorry, Lemon.
That's okay.
I mean, probably just want to try to enjoy it as much as I can.
Yeah, just get out the old bucket list and start crossing stuff off.
Pulled out a little bucket.
Literally keep it in a bucket.
All right. So one last question before we end. So you can't answer this, Lemon, because I already asked you. But what is the leading cause of dry skin?
Dry air.
Dry air.
Not using lotion.
Okay.
I hate lotion.
Reasonable answer. Towels.
Really?
What?
Yeah, you dry your skin off after you shower.
It's a
Oh my
joke.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's this one guy on Instagram. He's just like, this does dad jokes, and he asks his daughter just see her responses, and they're super funny. But all right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Leopard.
My pleasure.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. Well, so one last thing. We probably won't have one next week due to holidays. But we should be starting up next
Next year?
year, yeah.
And
we'll-
2021.
Yeah, we'll probably have another special guest with us. But we'll let you guys know. Thanks for joining.
All right. Bye.